1 o'clock. And then the mother says, aren't you going to say something to him? Aren't you going to tell him not to come late like that on Saturday nights? That he shouldn't be out this late? The mother says it, and the father probably says, he's born on Tuesday anyways, not going to be anyways. Yeah, nobody. So they don't care. Now the guy who was born on Thursday, his brother, comes in at 9 o'clock. And the father says, son, you got to work hard. You're a Thursday guy. Saturdays, we don't come home at 9. You do your homework and extra credit. So he does his homework and extra credit. His brother, he can care less. They can care less about him. He's going to be nobody. He was born on Tuesday. Right? So because of their expectations, they lived up to their expectations. No expectation, they're going to live up to the no expectation. And if you expect more of them, they will also. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet teaches us, when you ask for Jannah, don't say, Ya Allah, just give me the Jannah, even if it's the lowest. Now you ask for the highest level in paradise. Always ask for the highest. And when you make supplications, when you supplicate, ask for the best also. Because Allah can give it to you. And when you're expecting yourself to be the best, the highest level in Jannah, you're going to try to act like you're the best. And you're going to try to put in that type of effort also. So you have to have strong determination. You have to have high aspirations and show your children that you have high aspirations for them. And keep on reminding them that. Like, inshallah, I'm expecting good things from you, inshallah. And so you speak to them that way. Because if you don't expect anything, or you don't treat them that way, it will be the opposite. Opposite will occur. And so, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he spoke to the children, in order for the children to listen, of course I mentioned you teach them adab and you teach them etiquettes from the very beginning. Make use of the time that you have with them, and also, make the prayer, make it important from a very young age, because you can't wait. And sometimes we say, our children, why aren't they praying? I tell them to pray, but they still don't pray. Most likely it's our fault, because we were thinking, they're still young, it's okay. They're still young, they shouldn't cover up, or they're still young, they don't need to pray yet. But the Prophet ﷺ said, "Muru awladakum bis-salah wa hum abna' sit wa sabr." Order your children to pray when they're 7, and also if they don't and they're 10 years old, then you discipline them accordingly. Discipline your children when they're 10 and they don't pray, because when they're 14 and 15 and they're not used to when they're young, they're not going to pray. It's going to be more difficult for you. And so that's why when they're young, at that age, it's very important to instill and teach them from that age, from when they're 6, when they're toddlers, 7, when they start to realize, 8, 9, 10. After 10, you're going to have a hard time. You have 3 years approximately, after 10 years of age until they're 14, to really straighten them. Because if you can't straighten them after they're 14, when they get to 14, they think they know everything. They think that already, because they're teenagers, when they get puberty, they think they know everything, because their mind is set in a certain way already. So, inshallah, I know it's almost prayer time right now, so we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to teach us that which benefits from that which is taught us, inshallah. Do you have any questions? Inshallah, we can open the room for just a few questions, if not, no. Okay. We have a seminar. This is a seminar by Al-Maghrib Institute. I'm one of the instructors also of Al-Maghrib Institute. This is by Sheikh Sa'ad Taslim, and it's called Fiqh of Chillin. Fiqh of Chillin. What's Fiqh of Chillin? It's fiqh of entertainment, music, All of these things. What does Islam have to say? Does Islam, how about having fun and things like that? What's permissible and what's not permissible? All of those things. So there are very, very important topics that are going to be discussed relating to entertainment and recreation in Islam. And he's going to be here, right? He's going to be here in this masjid, inshallah, on the 15th. Thursday the 15th. Thursday the 15th. It's a single weekend seminar, so inshallah, I think the brothers have flyers in the back. Maybe you can pick that up also. Thursday evening, right? At 7 o'clock on the 15th. So the 15th he'll be here, inshallah. And then the 16th, so the 16th, 17th, and 18th, inshallah, it will be at the University of Michigan Dearborn. And so that's the fiqh children. Yes. Sin al-taklif.
We hear so much about being teenagers. Now, as a teenager, you can do anything you want to. You can don't rely on a teenager. What is in Islam is the sin of taklif? Because in Islam it's sin.
No, first of all, taklif, of course, starts with puberty. It starts with puberty.
It's just for
Not just for religious reasons, for other things. Well, for other things, there are certain aspects that are a little bit different. A little bit different. Like, for example, let's say, for example, a child in Islam, let's say the parents are divorced. If the parents are divorced, who gets the child? If they are young, before sin al-tamyiz, it's called tamyiz. It's before bulugh, before puberty. This is an age in which they can, they can already distinguish. They know what's going on. They know what's going on already. If they are in that age, the judge will ask them, who do you want to stay with? If they're both Muslims, of course, Muslim parents, and they're able to take, both of them are able to take care of them. Then, if they've reached that age, you ask them, who do you want to stay with? So they actually get the choice to stay with either the father or the mother when they're divorced. But before that, so maybe, before the tamyiz, of course, it's with the mother. It goes with the mother as long as the mother can take care of the child. And of course, even in that case, the father is always responsible. So there's different aspects. But when it comes to the United States, like for example, in civil law and things like that, 18 is the age, right? Like 18, and sometimes in certain cities, certain states, the drinking age is 21, others it's 18. It's a little bit different here and there. And actually, marriage age, even that is different. Some states it's 16, and some states in Mexico, for example, it's puberty. Believe it or not, puberty. In Islam, that age in which a person is responsible, meaning he's responsible in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and his actions are taken, that's when he reaches the age of puberty. And for a woman, it's very easy to distinguish, because when she has her menses, then she has reached the age of puberty. But that does not mean, okay, she has reached the age of puberty, she can do anything she wants. She still has to be obedient to her parents. And until her mother, father, and the son has to be, the mother is on top, the mother and the father will always take precedence after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So as long as they are, it doesn't mean, okay, I'm 18 right now, so I don't have to listen to or 15, I've reached the age of puberty, I don't have to listen to my parents anymore. You always have to listen to your parents. Even if you're 70 years old, and your father's 100 years old, you have grays everywhere, your father tells you to do something, it's mandatory upon you to do it. And if your mother tells you to pray, even in sunnah, you have to pray the sunnah, and that sunnah becomes mandatory. If your mother calls you and you're praying sunnah, you have to go and answer your mother. So this is the obligation. We're not talking about, okay, nowadays, for example, somebody's 18, okay, he can do anything he wants. He's gone. No, you still have, we don't in Islam, we don't have that type of, the responsibilities and so forth are always there.
Jazakallah khairan. What is the best way to deal with kids and to get them listen to you while they're attached to a lot of electronics around, and nowadays we are losing a lot of communication between us and our kids. And
yes. Well, I want you, the thing is, first of all, it's okay to, once in a while, I mean, you will see like fickle chilling and things like that. Maybe we'll cover that more. Cover that more. But it's okay to sit down and play games with them. There's nothing wrong with it, right? If it's something that they like, you sit down and they will probably be very happy. Not waste your time with them, not wasting time. But once in a while, there's nothing wrong with that. So doing things with them that they like. But when the electronics are taking them away and so forth, you have to understand there are certain things that they like a lot. Okay. And there are things that you want them to do that they would not otherwise do. So you can.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح
When your children are attached to something very much, and there's something that they like, if it's mubah, if it's something that's permissible, mubah, then make use of that. What do I say by make use of that? Okay, this is what, for example, this is what I do with my children. They like to play video games. Most kids nowadays like to play video games. But I tell them to keep a log. For every hour he plays video games, he has to spend an hour reciting Quran. Every hour. And so there is a time when he knows his friends are coming, right? And he doesn't have enough Quran read ahead of time, because he doesn't want to stop. Okay, 1 hour, and then I'm going to come to. Hey, you don't got enough. You have to stop playing video games. He wants to play a game because his friends are over. So he'll read like half a day. For 6 hours, he'll read for the weekend, the coming weekend, because he has that in his log. Then he'll come to me and says, "I got 6 hours of video games in." Right? And because he had 6 hours, okay, he played 6, but you know what? Alhamdulillah, he spent time, beneficial time, and if he needs to clean something like that, I help mother for this much, so now I got this thing. You can play your video games, yes, but you got to pay for it also. Be responsible. Right? Teach them responsibility, even in entertainment and even in those types of things. So that's just an advice. Maybe you can do that. Maybe, let's say, it's very helpful, by the way. Otherwise, you would not be able, because there are some things that they like a lot, right? So say, if you want to do this, okay, if you help your mother, if you do this, then the exact same amount of time you get to play your games. And you're fair with them. You give them 6 hours, 6 hours. You don't just say, okay, we got to do something like that. No, you're not going to give her 6 hours. And at the same time, tell them to keep a log, or you keep the log, how much they do this. And by the way, you can get them to do a lot of stuff.
My son, he's in Hafta school, so he spends 4 hours daily in Hafta school. So he will say, okay.
No. My children also, they're memorizing Quran. They say the same thing. I said, that doesn't count. That's school. Outside. But see, if they don't want to do that, for example, my other son, he loves to read Quran, so he uses his time for that. The other one doesn't like it too much, so he prefers to help his mother. Right? He prefers to help his mother. The other one doesn't like to help his mother. So look, he's cleaning, and his mother doesn't even know. And she's like, "Can I help? Please, let me wash the dishes. Oh, let me do this. He's helping." She's like, "Okay, go ahead." And she just watches him and tells him to do this. And I tell him, if he does that, just stop doing, and you just teach him to do things. Right? At the same time, he's learning responsibilities, and he's helping you. It's very beneficial. So then they get their time to play their video games. Right? Don't be too harsh. Be fair with them. Be fair with them, but be firm, and be just. Be just with them, inshallah. They're more likely to listen to you.
How about music? They like to hear a lot of music.
No, as long as it's something that's permissible, You know, as long as it's something that's, if they like to hear a nasheed or anything that's permissible, but if they're going to hear like love songs and things like that, then you say no, that's not permissible. As long as it's within the realm of permissibility. But if it's not permissible, of course you can't trade. You know, you can't look. Okay, you can do something haram. No one can make it halal. Yeah, they'll clean the house and you can do anything you want. But clean the house and you can have a girlfriend? No, that's not. No, you don't want. That's not permissible. Within the realm of permissibility, of course. Allah.
In grown-up children now become adults, is there a room for improvement in relation, you think?
Definitely, there's room for improvements. When it comes to grown-ups, especially when they're grown up already, one of the best things you can do is give gifts to each other. Don't wait for Eid, don't wait for anything. Give gifts. The hajj to have. When you cook something, give to them. And then when you do so, they'll do it back for you. They'll give it back to you. And so exchange gifts, exchange visits, and just help them out whenever you can, and they will do the same thing for you. And so that's, just make sure you don't, even if they're older, you should never cut the connection. You should always try to enjoy relations. You should always try to do things together. And so, if it's something that, set a time where you visit them and they visit you. And so you should always do these things to improve the relationship between each other. Because a lot of the times we think that visiting each other and making food and it's only for Ramadan. No. Outside of Ramadan, why can't you do the same thing? It's something to teach us. Ramadan is to teach us to continue what we did in Ramadan during the outside months, outside of Ramadan. So just continue some of those things that you actually were doing in Ramadan, and enjoying your relations, coming together as a family. Wallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت.
Thank our dear Sheikh Abdulbary Yahya, barakallahu feek, wa kataba fi mizan hasanah.